This is our one-player review of Hibachi for
Nom Nom November.
Nom Nom November.
Yep.
So all throughout November we were playing food-themed games, and now we're at a hibachi restaurant. We're all hibachi chefs, collecting ingredients and making recipes, and trying to be the first to make 3 recipes.
Yes.
So how hibachi works is you will have this board out here, and you'll be throwing your poker chips, or actually tossing your poker chips onto the board, attempting to land them in either action spaces or in the ingredients that you're trying to either buy or sell. So, just trying to remember how the turn order goes. We had a little confusion with this. But first thing you're going to do is whoever's the head chef, and the head chef has this a little soy sauce bottle to denote that they are the head chef. So whoever's the head chef picks one of their chips to go ahead and throw first. So the chips have a value between 100 and 600 on the back of them, but you're going to throw them face down. And you're going to toss it onto the board, hopefully getting to wherever you need to go. And then you continue around the board until every player has thrown the designated amount for the player count. For a 2 or 3 player game, you're going to throw 4 chips each. For a 4 player game, you throw 3 chips. And then the head chef will start dealing with how the chips came out. There are 4 action spaces around the board, so the head chef will flip over all of the chips that are on the space. To determine if a chip is on a space, you look at the hole in the middle, and if you can see any of that space inside the hole, then you're considered to be it's a legal throw and you're on that space. So the first space is an extra throw. So whoever had the highest value chip on that space will get to throw another chip they still have in reserve. The next space is you get an ingredient. Whoever has the highest value there. So for example, let's just say my chip was there and I had the 500 chip on that space. I get to pull 5 ingredient cards blindly from the deck and pick one. So you get the number,
The value.
the value divided by 1,000, and 100.
100. Yeah.
You get the value divided by 100. You get to look at that many cards, but you only get to keep one.
Right.
The next one is you get to reserve a recipe. So you'll take the top recipe from the recipe deck, and you'll put that face down in your area, and only you're allowed to cook that. What's nice about the reserve recipes, we didn't really do this in our game, but you can cook as many reserve recipes as you possibly can in a go. When you come to the cook recipes things, you can only cook one of the ones that are out. Only one of those, but an unlimited number of reserve ones. The last space is become the head chef. Now, this is actually good because the head chef gets to make a lot of decisions throughout the game. So you might want to go ahead and steal that head chef denotation for the next part. The next part is determining the ingredient stuff that you're going to be doing. So the head chef, because they have to go in the order for the action spaces, but the head chef picks the order for the rest of the game then. So you're going to flip over all the tokens on the ingredient and see what the total value is of all of those chips. Anybody that has that ingredient are allowed to sell for that amount. If you had chips on that space, you have to take them off, but if you didn't have any chips on there, you can still sell for whatever that price is.
Right.
Then, once everybody is done selling for that ingredient, they can now purchase for that ingredient. If you have a chip on that ingredient still, you're going to pay the highest value of your own, you're going to pay the combined value of your own chips.
Yes.
That's how it goes. So
The value of your chip.
the value of your chips there. So if I had a 500 and a 100 there, I could buy that ingredient. If there was a card available, there'll be cards around the board, or if that is available, then you will buy it for the total value of all of your chips. You take off that highest chip. Whoever's the next highest can buy it for their amount, And if you have a token left and there's still a card left, you can buy it for your next highest chip amount that is on that ingredient. If you have chips that don't land on anything, they're kind of like in this like reddish area of the board, you're going to get chili for those. And you can spend 2 chili to equal any 1 ingredient when you're making a recipe. But you're just trying to collect ingredients and sell stuff and buy stuff because you're kind of like managing your money and managing these ingredients to try to figure out how to quickly make these recipes. And again, first player to make 3 recipes wins. Doesn't seem like a lot, but not all the ingredients are going to be out at the same time. Because, you know, like noodles didn't come out in the very first thing, but we had a whole bunch of noodle dishes.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you'll put out 6 cards. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the round. You're going to have 6 recipe cards put out, and those are going to be the available stuff that you can purchase. But just trying to do that kind of like push and pull of buying and selling is actually probably like the core mechanism of the game, plus the throwing and trying to be good at tossing the...
tossing the chips onto the ingredients was a bit challenging.
Yes. I felt like it was harder to throw to the stuff that was closer to you, because I would always overshoot it and go a little bit further. So it is and then, you know, you can like bump each other. If somebody's like on a space, if you're able to, you can kind of...
Sort of like shuffleboard. You can shuffleboard a position, you can shuffleboard a different chip, a person's chip out of that ingredient so they don't get it, and then you end up getting it, which is pretty cool. It's pretty fun in an aspect of that.
Yeah. So with a lot of players, you're knocking and bumping each other and everything. So, like, I ended up bumping you into a higher thing.
Yeah, you bumped me out of grabbing random ingredients, looking at 6 random ingredients, and made me purchase noodles for 600. And I didn't have that, so it was weird. So I had to sell onions to get the money to buy the noodles, and then I was able to purchase to make my one noodle dish.
That was poor management in my half as head chef. I should have thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I did the onions first, allowing Will to sell his onions. Therefore, he could buy the noodles that I knocked him into.
Yeah, because I only had 200 available
at the time. Yeah.
And when he shoved my puck onto the noodles, if he would have said, "Oh, well, we'll do noodles first," I wouldn't have been able to make my recipe.
Yeah.
So.
That's
where you have to decide. You have to look at the board and you have to figure out. Okay, well, that he needs this, but we'll do that last, and then that way.
Or do it first if you see they don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, or do it first. Yeah.
Yeah, I put close ingredients are hard. I put a game of balance, so it's like money and ingredients. Like I said, the push and pull.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out how to get what you need. Because it's also slightly economic, where it's like sell high, buy low. It's you're kind of playing that and manipulating how the prices of stuff is.
Yeah, because you're kind of, it's kind of like bidding with your chips. You're kind of like bidding on certain ingredients.
Yeah.
Because there's only a limited amount that will be out of a specific ingredient. So if you can get away with it being cheap, then that's cool. But you got to be careful, because someone else may put a higher chip and want those same ingredients, like the eggs or whatever. And if there's only one out there, like for ours there was 3 at the time, but if there was only one and you have recipes that need the eggs, you kind of want to get that so that your opponent doesn't get it. So it depends on which chip you want to put out there, so that you don't run the risk of overspending.
Yes.
Or underspending and getting outbid.
I really like the money in this game. You know, a lot of people don't like paper money. I think the money is cool. It kind of has this like
fabric.
It's almost like a fabric-y texture kind of thing. It's kind of fun having the physical money in the game, so it's all the different yen denominations for the game. The chips are really nice quality.
Quality poker chips, yeah.
The board, I had some issues where, because it's a 2-piece board that you kind of puzzle together. There's like registration marks on the edge. And it has a lip on it, by the way. So if you throw your stuff, it might bounce off the lip. If it bounces out, that's invalid. You don't get to throw again. But it kind of has a little bit of a lip on the edge. But there's like a little bit of bowing in the middle where the two boards kind of meet. And I went to throw my chip and it kind of bounced off the middle. So I kind of flattened it down. I asked Will, he was like, hey, do you mind if I throw again? So I was able to throw again. I think that table rule is pretty close. Everybody says you can.
Yeah.
Anonymous vote for that. Or not anonymous, but unanimous. That's the word I want. First player, they make a lot of decisions. I mentioned that already. But
yeah.
It's a real important thing being first player because you get to decide when
the order, especially of the dishing out the ingredients. You decide that. So if you know that you need like broccoli, you need the broccoli, and there's only one broccoli out there, and you have your chip on there, you definitely want to have that go first because that will dictate. Oh, well, there's only one, so I know I'm gonna get it, because I have the high bid on it. So yeah, being the first player is pretty essential in a more player game. And for us, it was good, but it's just the two of us. So, but
I think it would still be advantageous to go for that, especially if there's like a particular ingredient you really want to.
And there's only a limited amount out.
Correct.
There.
Plus, if you're trying to really micromanage your money and stuff, you kind of want to be that decision maker.
Right.
Like we're going to go here next and stuff. So you can kind of steal that away for that decision making part of the game.
Yeah.
There are some typos in the rule book, but that doesn't deter me from that. I know some people might get upset about that, but
that was no big deal.
It was really no big deal. We both mentioned that we wish that there was a player aid.
Yeah.
Even something on the back of the rule book would have been nice to be like, hey, here's the rundown of the turn order, rather than, it's not a very big rule book, but still having to reference it just to understand the turn order of stuff. Something quick would have been nice, even if it was even on the board or something, like here's a turn order for everybody or something.
Yeah.
That would have been a handy thing. I might even just make my own and throw it in the box for future plays. This game I feel like would really shine with 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
It's good at 2 players, but I think this game is really built for 3 and 4 because then you have that chaos of everybody throwing the tokens, and you don't know what the total is going to be. You don't know if onions are going to be super high or super low, or if you're going to be able to sell them and actually make enough money to buy the mushrooms that you need for your recipe or something like that.
Yeah. I think 3 would be 3 or more would be the way to play this instead of just 2.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts?
No, that was it.
Okay. So,
but yeah.
Do you want to play this again though?
Yeah, but with another player.
Yes.
With an extra player. Like I said, at 2, it was good, but I think it would be better at 3 because that way you'll be able to do more of the dynamics than just the 2 players.
Absolutely. So yes, this is something that we definitely recommend for 3 or 4 players. I don't even know what the ages are. The ages are 10 and up. Yeah, definitely. There's really no reading involved. You just have to do a little bit of math with the money, but everything is pretty much just pictographs and pictures for everything. So I think it's pretty good for all ages. But yeah, definitely. I definitely want to try this again with a full company. I think I want to try this with 4 players. I'll play it with 3, but I think 4 players will be really good with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was our review of Hibachi for Nom Nom November. So make sure you continue watching. I think we're going to have one more video. I think there's 5 weeks.
I think there's 2 more videos.
2 more? 1 more?
2 more items, food games that we are thinking about.
Well, keep on watching throughout November and watch some of the older videos so that way you can see everything we recommended for Nom Nom November. So all of our links are down below. You can definitely check them out. And thanks for watching.